Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the Celebrity Maid channel. Today we're going to be talking about sales objections, more specifically the let me think about it objection and the wow, that's pretty expensive objection. This is going to be primarily for phone sales, which is usually held for residential cleaning services, whereas with commercial, you're typically going to do a walkthrough where you visit the business or establishment in person, you do an actual on-site estimate. And since those services are higher ticket, it's not uncommon for those sales cycles to be dragged out for several weeks, if not months. And there's still like best practices that you can follow to answer those objections. But for the phone sales, where you should really be able to get a yes or no within a 10, maybe 15-minute time frame, that's what this video is for. So let's just start by the first two most common objections. The first one, the let me talk to my spouse, or let me get back to you. And they're one and the same because the person is just trying to get off the phone. Usually, I don't want to say 100% of the time because sometimes people really may need to talk to their spouse, but more often than not, they don't need to. They just are saying that because there's something that they still feel a little bit fishy about your service. They're not 100% sold yet. And most likely this was a mistake that you made on your part of not selling the value of your service, not addressing their pain points deep enough, or just not sounding confident in the way that you projected your services onto them. So the great news is that both of these can be dealt with in almost the identical manner. And the way to do that is you address them before they even come up. So when you take control of the conversation, you should bring up these uncomfortable potential objections and turn them into just that, a potential objection, not let your customer say it. Let's say that you have a slightly higher than average price point. So this is where you would come to your customer, you would greet them on the phone, you would go through your small talk, do your normal intro script, whatever that looks like, and then you would say, as you may know, we're not the cheapest cleaning service in the city. So I was just curious if there was something else about our service that maybe you saw on our website or our social media and led you to giving us a call today. So now you've already hid that potential objection from them, because now they're going to have to answer, and they're almost forced to come back with some type of answer that is superior to just price at that point. So oftentimes what they'll say is, well, I don't know. I saw some photos and videos of your team and you guys seem very friendly and personable, so I decided to give you a call. I felt like you guys were comfortable. Or maybe they'll say, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was because you guys had like 200 Google reviews, so I feel comfortable. I'm sure you guys do a great job. Or I was reading some of the reviews and people said that you provided really quality service, so yeah, that's why I'm calling. So no matter what their answer is, just by letting them know, hey, you know we're not the cheapest service, so what other aspects of our business made you call? Now they're forced to focus on something else, and they're much less likely to fall back onto that price objection. Now, the other very similar objection that's still in the same realm is that the let me think about it, or can I get back to you later this week? So this one is probably the most difficult one to handle because you can't really say much other than sure. If you try and push for the sale too hard and say, well, why can't you make a decision right now? You're almost certainly not going to close that sale. So it's very important to establish this one before it comes up. And the best way to do this is after you ask them if it's the first time of them using a cleaning service. If they say yes, or even if they say no and that they've already used someone, just be like, cool. So did you have a certain time frame of when you'd like to get started? Like, are you looking for someone this week or a couple months from now? What do you have in mind? And that alone is going to do a really good job at gauging where these people are at and how qualified they are. Because if someone says, oh, I don't know, maybe 1 month from now or 2 months from now, they're probably not super qualified. But if they say 1 week or even a couple weeks, they're more likely to purchase. And you can even offer some suggested times and dates that are very near and say something like, well, I'll tell you what, if you're looking for something in the next 2 weeks, I can do next Monday in the morning. We also have Thursday available in the morning and afternoon if you prefer something a little bit later. But I'm happy to get you booked into that if that works for you. And just that alone will definitely up your chances of getting that booking. So guys, if you get objections, it's nothing to stress about. It's not the end of the world. There's a good chance you can turn that sale around. And just understand that this is a normal part of human psychology. A lot of times, people might even be ready to book your service, it's almost like just a knee-jerk reaction for them to say some type of objection because they might have a tiny little uncertainty, and all you needed was that 5 or 10-second verbalization, and then suddenly they're, a sold customer for life. That really is how it is in a lot of cases, and that's why practicing these things, going through the ropes, and repetition is really what's going to get you good at this and have you closing deals left and right. So hopefully this found you value. And if you are struggling with converting, let me know what's your biggest issue in the comments below, and I'll do my best to address that. But guys, subscribe to this channel if you want to catch more helpful videos and tips just like this. Be sure to like this video, share it with anybody who you think could get value from it as well, and I'll talk to you soon.